I've been waiting for this episode.
Yes. This is our new series. We're going to be talking about film, animation, anime, cartoons.
Anime, cartoons, video games.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're going off the rails now. We're going into the HOV lane. That's
HOV.
Yeah, that's every highly opinionated viewpoint that we have. We're gonna sit there, we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna debate it, we're gonna do whatever we want. No restrictions. None of that.
Nope.
None of that stuff that we be doing on the podcast and everything else. But make sure y'all do check out our podcast. Check out OTP. Before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to Akira Toriyama.
Yep.
The creator of Dragon Ball. The reason most of us are here in this entertainment space because we connected based off of anime and Dragon Ball and just everything that man meant to us. You want to speak on it? Because I can speak all day on it.
That man brought nerds and hood folks together.
Exactly.
He brought them all together through Dragon Ball Z, throwing good hands, shooting beams and stuff. So, translate that how you want to translate.
Yeah.
I ain't from the hood. I'm from the suburbs. You just do you. But everybody was connected to it, growing up, you know what I'm saying? As long as you said, everybody knew who Goku was. Everybody knew who Goku was. Everybody knew who Gohan was.
Yep.
And probably Vegeta. Everybody try to go Super Saiyan.
Oh, yeah. I still try to go.
I'm more Team Krillin now, but I was a Goku. You
know what I'm saying? Team Krillin?
At one point, I'm Team Krillin now.
Gotcha. But you could have said Tien. Even Krillin got hair now.
Nah, well, true. But Krillin
he go back and forth.
To me, Krillin is a little bit stronger than Tien. I don't care what I want to say.
Ooh, we gotta get on that later. We're not talking about that right now, but we're gonna get on that later. Today, though. Yeah, today we're going to talk about Avatar the Last Airbender. Yeah.
Yes.
I know a lot of people are still sensitive about the live action that just came out.
I'm sensitive.
He's sensitive. Go for it, dude. What's on your mind?
Okay. This right here, I got done with book one, and this is probably the closest to me getting to the Avatar state. I was so pissed off. So my problem with it is they blended too many stories together that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Without going too far ahead. How about you start with the positives? That's my wife.
Yeah,
okay,
getting critiques.
So, she in the peanut gallery. We told her that she needs to be out here. This is the best way she can do it. So we'll start with the positives. All right, we'll start with the positives. I
say go for the negatives, but I'm. That's just me. But go ahead. Go for the positives.
I mean, she right here. She can kind of front head, back head.
My bad. Yeah. Go ahead.
So we're going to go with the positives. What I will say, they did a better job casting versus the first. We're never going to talk about the first one. But they did a
We're going to talk about it. We're going to bring it back.
Okay. So they did a lot better recasting. They brought people who were I think, I want to say Fire Lord Ozai. He was the voice actor as well and the live action guy, or am I wrong?
Ozai, no. Ozai was a different person because Mark Hamill, the guy who voiced the Joker, voiced Ozai, and this guy was an Asian guy. So,
but he did very well.
Oh yeah, he did great.
What they brought to the man, I'm talking about. Beautiful job. Yeah. So they did a pretty stellar job when it came to the recasting compared to the first one. The visual effects were amazing.
Yeah.
The concepts of the fights were really good. It was well paced. I think I can say that it's well paced. When it comes to certain things in the show. Is that good? Did I do good? Okay. Now let's go ahead and get into it. So the problem that I had with this was, again, they were blending too many things together.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me that stood out the most was the tale of the Lover's Cave. The Lover's Cave, and then they put the hippies in there. That's not how they found them.
Yeah.
First off, the Secret Tunnel song I was waiting for it all season, and then all of a sudden it was just Secret Tunnel, okay, bye.
Yeah, that got me. That got me too. I was because that episode for me, I was like, I'm kind of bored, and then when I saw them, I was like, I'm gonna get my song at least.
Yeah.
And it was just Secret Tunnel.
Right.
I was like,
no.
First of all, why they there? Like you said, why are they there?
Right.
What are they doing? Why do they need to mix that and Boomy and they just kept throwing too much stuff at the wall?
Because and I'm sorry for in advance. I'm going to compare it to the cartoon. The cartoon's OG. I don't care what nobody says. That was very well written, very well done. Then they were in Omashu in the live action when they met the hippies, but they were in Ba Sing Se when they met them in the cartoon. Right?
Yeah. I think
and there was a serpent's pass, and I want to say something.
Yeah, it was.
So the Lover's Cave, right? The problem that I had, there was no like. First off, it was Sokka and Katara. That's weird.
Yeah, that was weird. That was extremely weird.
That was weird.
But okay, so I will say it was weird, but this is what they were trying to. My bad, I gotta wipe my camera. This is what they were trying to do. They were trying to.
We spit facts.
I know, it's like, but they were trying to. They were trying to make it a sibling thing because they were trying to like, instead of showing kids loving each other, I guess, or getting that image, they wanted to make like a sibling love because they're trying to bridge Sokka and Katara together. This is I know you were still speaking, and I apologize.
You good. Go ahead.
This is one of the biggest problems that they were having with pacing is they couldn't figure out how to make Katara and Sokka's relationship organic. It just kept, they were there. You knew they were brother and sister, but their interactions were just like not there. Like Sokka, he interacted well with Aang, of course. He had a playful banter with Aang, but they were too afraid to dig into what made Sokka and Katara like bicker all the time. That sibling rivalry, because Sokka was a jerk. He was like, I'm a man and you're a woman. You're knitting my clothes and I'm the warrior. But they took all that away. They stripped all that away from Sokka. And now what do Katara and Sokka have to argue about? Nothing. They were literally like, first of all, okay, again, not trying to dig at the casting. They were fine for what they were, but the writing for Katara was butt.
It was whiny.
It was
butt.
butt.
It seemed so whiny.
She was just there half the time. And me and Caroline, we were just watching it back today. Yeah. Like, I'm literally watching season 1 back. And I'm like, Katara has so much depth to her. Like, you know, she gets angry, she gets sad, she's responsible, then she's irresponsible. And it's she drives the plot, which people don't see that. She drives the plot more than Sokka and Aang do most of the time. Aang kind of show up to fix the problem, but it's always Katara going to do something. Like her getting angry is the thing that set up the whole him coming back. So it's like
exactly
now it's like, oh well, Katara, she's good at airbending. She's good at water bending. What else though? Go ahead. I went on my tangent. You go ahead.
Speaking of the water bending, my problem with that was there was like the grandma just so happened to have a scroll, and here's the scroll, and then you know she's supposed to learn water bending with Aang at the same time. Then all of a sudden she goes 6 episodes and she's a master of water bending.
Yeah. And Aang wasn't interested at all in water bending. He wasn't interested in anything besides like I don't even know.
He irked me so bad. When you're in the North Pole. You're in the North Pole. Okay, let me run it back. You had the opportunity to learn water with with Katara at the same time.
At the same dang time.
At the same time. And then all of a sudden she's running ones with Zuko and on par with Zuko?
Yeah. Hold on, I had a rewind thing. I could have just used that. Say that again now.
I said she had the opportunity. I mean, Aang had the opportunity to learn waterbending with Katara, and then all of a sudden, like she's like looking at the scroll, and Aang's like, "Oh, you're really good at this." And then the next episode, she's running ones with Zuko, and on par with him. This man, Zuko has been learning firebending for his entire life of 17 years.
But I will say, if you watch back the original cartoon, Zuko does get his butt whooped quite a few times. But when he faced off against like Fire Nation generals and What's his name? The
Talking about Zhao?
Yeah, Zhao. Like he beat him in the Agni Kai, so it was like,
was fire.
yeah, that's one of my favorites.
That was.
But it's like Zuko takes, you know, he has his highs and he has his lows. He gets distracted because he's like, okay, I'm the fire guy, and like when he's trying to pretend to be something he's not, that's when he gets knocked down and taught a lesson, and which is good. But yeah, to your point, it's just like Katara shouldn't be rapidly going up. She should.
No.
It should have been a slow ascend. It doesn't happen.
I was waiting for the pirates. You know what I'm saying? I was waiting for the pirates to show up. I was waiting for them to go ahead and be like, "Ooh, the scroll," and then she finds a way to get it, and then Aang, he can use his airbending up until that point. It's like, oh, I wonder what the scroll's about. This, that, and the third. But you mean to tell me they knew that the grandma, the mama were right there, basically they sacrificed themselves because they knew that she was a waterbender.
Yeah.
And grandma just so happened to have the scroll.
Yeah. And again, to like the pacing and everything, I feel like they picked the wrong scenes. Like they could have had the scenes with like Haru and the Earthbenders and going more into to that, and then they were just like splitting Team Avatar up. It was just like Aang could never just stay with his folks. He would just, oh, he's in jail now. It's like, why you gotta put him in jail right then and there instead of having him, Katara, and Sokka go do something together so that we can kind of get used to them being together, working together. Because other than that, it's just like Katara and Sokka are always together, and then Aang is off doing his own adventure. And Aang, okay, go ahead.
No. I'm not. No. Keep going.
Okay, I was gonna say because Aang by himself is kind of boring.
Yeah. And see, the thing is, when it came to the show, like the cartoon, I would have been okay with him being like, oh, I'm Aang and I'm about my playing and I'm trying to catch up on my childhood. And then come to the realization like, okay, I really need to do this. But he came in heavy off the jump.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm the Avatar. I need to do this and I need to do that. And he was so easily influenced by his past lives to where it's like, what's her name? Kyoshi was like, you need to go ahead and handle business. And he was like, yeah, I need to handle business.
Go to the North Pole. Something's bad about to happen. Go. And he's like, okay.
Right.
Sitting there telling Karuk what to do. Karuk was like, what? It's like,
right.
Bust if you don't sit down. Like,
then here comes Karuk talking about, so you need to handle this on your own. And he's like, yeah, I got to handle something on my own. Like, you don't even know waterbender. How are you supposed to do that?
Yeah. I'm like, dog, I get it. You got to, because you only got 8 episodes. But it's like, take your time with certain things. Like, that scene where Katara was first doing the waterbending in front of him, why not have him try to do waterbending?
That would have been perfect. At least the movements or something, and then it comes up, some point where his back's on against the wall, and Zuko's about to get him, or somebody's about to get him, and he just brings it back. Like, or
even if you felt like you needed to rush it, just to be like, Katara could have just encouraged him. Oh yeah, try waterbending. Let me show you the first little step, and then he does it, and he's like this, and he's good at it because he was good at waterbending, and then you have an opportunity to set up Katara to be like jealous, like she was in the show. Right. But now, nothing happened like that.
Now with Katara, like she was the mother of the group.
Yeah.
Right? She was a mother group. She showed no nurturing ability at all in the show.
She was just there. That's why I said she was just there.
She was just there. So my thing is, I'm like, at this point, why even have her? Yeah. If you're not going to utilize her properly.
Yeah. I got Katara, animation of Katara underneath you on the screen. I know you can't see it, but for everybody at home, they seeing her water bend, so it's potent that you're talking about her. Because Katara is one of my favorite characters in Team Avatar.
I was gonna ask you. As long as while we talk about these characters, I said we give them a grade as to how they were portrayed in the show versus the cartoon. So for Katara, I'd give her like a C.
In the show.
Yeah, in the show.
You're so nice because I'm gonna give her a D-. She had nothing. She was doing nothing.
She had nothing.
Dog, I was just sitting there just like, every time she was on screen, she was just like, and then when I thought like in the North Pole, the North Water, the water tribe in the North, whatever, I was like, okay, this is her opportunity. Show out. Let's go. Show.
Snap. Nothing.
I'm sitting there just like, that's it.
She didn't even use the power of the moon. The moon.
I was like, that's it. That's all we're getting. So
that's it.
So D minus.
Fair.
I guess we'll go to Sokka next to keep it in the.
Sokka gets an A minus in my opinion.
Okay. Same here. Same here.
That mug, he was a jerk. He was sarcastic. His timing was great. Mm-hmm. I got a really good depth analysis on Sokka when it came to him dealing with Ko.
Yeah.
And they showed him. He's really proving himself.
Yeah.
To his father.
Yeah.
And the dad, everybody's like, "Oh, great job, Sokka the wise." And then his daddy's just like, "Boy."
Yeah, that was an amazing scene, and they do take the time to add scenes like that kind of enhance what they've already shown. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's great. Even with Katara, even though again her writing was kind of bland, but the scene around it was like, oh, okay, you know. And then they did the same thing with Aang. They added Monk Gyatso to be there.
I love Gyatso.
Yeah, Gyatso was a great
A+ for Gyatso.
A++ for me. He's one of the best portrayed characters in the show. What about Aang for you?
You said Aang?
Yeah. How would you? What would you grade Aang?
I might have to give him an even C, only because he still had that childlike innocence about him at some point.
Yeah, the actor was great.
No, the acting is great. I just think that the way that they portrayed him, first and foremost, you should have had water. That's my thing. How he interacted with Boomy. For me, I think he was a little too serious too early. Mm-hmm. Where he's starting to kind of understand himself. It was just like, you're the Avatar. You need to. Basically, they were like, you're the Avatar. Grow up. Yeah. You're like, you're right. I'm 112 years old. Like, you didn't know you.
Right. They didn't let it like.
Know that.
They didn't let it build like, oh, I'm finding out with you guys. That's what the cartoon does. It's like, and they do it perfectly. Mm-hmm. He finds out with us. We know because of the backstory and all that stuff. But with the other characters, he's finding out with them. Everything else was just like. They wanted to reveal things too fast. Like King Boomy, for example. And was just like, you're King Boomy! It's like, no, dog, the whole episode was for him to realize that slowly. Yeah. Like, to come into grips, like, oh, this is King Boomy. Like, you taught me a lesson when you were a kid, and now it's coming back to the forefront. None of that. None of that.
It took one bad joke and a snort, and he was like, Boomy!
I was just like...
But they had to do that because there were so many things they had to mesh together.
They could have took some stuff out then, because I don't know. That episode was good. I will still say that episode was good.
He still learned a lesson though,
because he learned a lesson, and the stuff with Iroh and the Earthbender who was just like, oh, I lost a lot of good people and stuff like that, and how he was trying to punk Iroh and stuff like that. I like that.
That was gritty. I enjoyed that because, at the end of the day, because I was about to say, at the end of the day, this isn't technically an adult show for us, right?
Yeah.
So to see that and then to see the firebenders actually burning people alive.
Yeah, that was brutal. That was brutal. Especially when they showed Gyatso in them. I was just like...
Yeah.
Because they kind of flash it in the cartoon, but it was just like...
Bro, one day... I'm very grateful for the time they took to show the Fire Nation sneaking up on the air nomads.
Yeah.
When the Souls of Comet came, I really wanted to see how people would have reacted to that.
Yeah. Another great enhancement to the show.
Yeah. Like you said, they could have added things and they could have taken things out. Oh my gosh. I wish they showed Gyatso taking the air out of everyone's lungs in that room.
Yo, They couldn't give us that. They couldn't give us that yet. Hopefully they get. Hopefully they get some like Gang Chen action in. I don't know if he gets. Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna say that because I don't want them to keep utilizing Aang needing the other avatars to do stuff.
Thank you. Why? We got Kyoshi way too early. Yep. We went to the whole Sage Temple. Mm-hmm. Avatar Roku was not the type of guy I was looking for.
Yeah.
I wanted Roku to be that elegant, I'm that dude, but not, but I'm gonna let you have it type of guy.
Yeah.
He came out all goofy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The level of goofiness that Roku had, I wanted Boomy to have.
Yeah.
And then this is just me. I wanted Boomy to be more ripped. I needed Boomy to be like a Master Roshi with a snort. Like that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
That mug came out. He looked like well, let me stop. Screw it. He looked like every dude I see at the Y.
Oh.
Like, I'm just like, man, Boomy's supposed to be that dude where he lifted basically a whole city by himself, earthbending.
Yeah.
He didn't look like that in the show.
Yeah.
I needed Boomy to. I needed that, man.
Even if they got to replace the actor for like that one scene where he cocked Diesel,
I would have been okay. CGI his head on a bodybuilder. I'd have been fine.
Just have the rock come in like, if you smell what Boomy is cooking. Nah, not that far, but
the people's boulder.
The boulder. I can't wait.
Hey, I knew you were gonna say. I was gonna see what I said.
I promise.
A petition to have The Rock play the boulder.
He needs to. He needs to. That would be like, I get it. People would be like, oh, it's too tongue in cheek. No, it is perfect.
No, that's perfect.
It is perfect.
That's perfect.
Pay that man. But going back to rating the characters, we already did Aang. We did Sokka. Did we do Sokka?
Yes.
Yeah, we did Sokka. Katara.
Iroh.
I will honestly give him just a B- because he could have been a tad more Iroh-esque, like very, Iroh is like cool. He's like, hey, let's drink some tea. He had that sometimes, but other times he was too serious. He was like
way too serious.
He's like, oh, Zuko, yeah, you need to do it. It's like, no, that's not.
No, that's not Iroh.
Yeah, Zuko needs that laid back guy to be like, let's just drink tea. Let's chill out. Mm-hmm. Let's go check out these ladies. Oh, the bounty hunter. What's her name?
May? No.
Oh, shoot. What's her name? I feel bad for not even knowing her name.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but still. Why did they decide to do a character switch with her and Iroh? Why was she so assertive in hitting on him? That's like the complete opposite of what happened in the cartoon. Because go ahead. Go spit it. It's okay. June. You had it. You had the right theme. You said May.
Right.
July, August, October. You had the right. Yeah, June.
I think it's February. I feel like they did that because they're going for the political correction route. Yeah. Because it looks weird for an older man to hit on a younger woman in a way, but not really.
I mean, even if that's the case, just take that thread out in general. It was weird. It came off as like tongue in cheek. They were trying to still keep that same feeling to it, but it just didn't work for me. I was like, that doesn't feel like who this character is. She's supposed to be like this badass. She was a badass.
Hard to get.
Yeah.
Like, I walk alone.
Exactly. And she came off as like, I'm a flirt with this old man. It's like, right. I don't need that anymore. If you're gonna take that from Iroh, which I understand because it did come off as creepy in the cartoon, then take the whole thread away, or have something different. Like Iroh could just respect her, and Zuko could just like, I don't understand why you respect her, and he could be like, well, nephew, I need you to really pay attention to her or something like that. I don't know. I'm not writing this, but
like the leaves on the water flow effortlessly together in harmony. Like I need that.
Something. Give me something. He sat there and just looked at her when she was like, "Hey, your dad is cute," and he's just like, "I was like, what are we doing here? No acknowledgement." He could be like, anything.
Thank you.
Just
something.
Give me the finger guns or something. He didn't have to chase after her, but just like cheeky Iroh or something. I don't know.
Nah, yeah, like you said, with the way they did Iroh, I didn't like it. They gave Dragon of the West vibes without really making him the true Dragon of the West. Like I was waiting for him to snap. Like they did the whole cool thing when he got tied up with the chains and he was using the chains and lit them joints on fire.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope. That's why I give him a B in mine. I can't give him anything less than that because it's like they have it where you're like, oh, they're about to bring that out of the character. I can really see that happening. But it just kind of seemed like they were too scared to go all the way out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I want Iroh to go dumb. Like he showed that little flash of why he's considered Dragon of the West.
But I see the vision. I see it. I can wait till the next season if they want to come out, because that's really when he did it. Was in book 2 when he was like,
dude, he really. I could put money on it. March 10th, 2024 at 7:55 p.m. They're gonna wait until book 3 to show Uncle Iroh really showing out.
Yeah, I mean he did elevate because he showed out in book 2, and then he like was, the Iroh of legend in that last one. All the old men were of the
I can't wait for the White Lotus to come out.
White Lotus.
But how they're gonna introduce Jean and again, we'll talk about that later. So for me, we're missing Suki. Suki gets an A+.
I give her an A+ as well. I don't see a single fault in her character. She played her role to perfection. When she took that makeup off, I was like, perfect casting. Like she looks just like Suki. I was like, yeah. And Suki's another one of my favorite characters. I wish they used her more in the show, of course, but
good hands between her and May. Ooh, I love them fights. I loved them fights. Yeah. Those were perfect. And then the relationship between her and Sokka looked so organic.
Yeah, that felt organic. Unlike the other one with UA.
We ain't going to get there yet with that Tyler Perry wig. We're going to talk about that later. We're going to talk about that later, though. We're going to talk about that later.
Not with the Tyler... Put an F in the chat for Tyler Perry wigs, man.
Because she turned around. I was like, what the heck is on her head?
Oh my God.
Like, you could tell she had more hair under the hair. Like, it's not laying down.
What's crazy is I didn't see that episode before everybody started talking about it on TikTok and stuff. So, like, I wasn't thinking about it. But as soon as everybody pointed it out to me, like, my mind was, like, hyper-focused. Every time I saw her, I was just like, I see what they're saying.
Bro, her wig had a shadow. You see that? It was like this. Like, I was like, it was so distracting because every time she spoke, I looked at her forehead. I didn't look at her face. I just looked at her forehead. I'm like, man, I said, Sokka, just let her go to the moon, please.
Yeah, right. Don't even chase her.
Right, just let her go.
And the guy she was supposed to be betrothed to, they took that thread out.
He's a goof.
And he's like, hey, bro, I had a chance with her, but now it's your turn. Where's the conflict?
Where's the competition?
That makes Sokka great. Even though we gave Sokka an A, so it's not like, oh, we gave him a B, B minus or something.
It would have enhanced the conflict because really there was no conflict in the Northern Water Tribe outside of Katara not getting trained by her grandfather.
And that was barely conflict. Like it felt, they took out elements that made it like, because he was ruthless in the cartoon. He was like, no, you're not doing this at all. Yeah. But in this, they were gentle. They were like, yeah, okay, well,
political correctness.
Yeah, the way we do tradition here. And I was like, I understand. I'm not even mad at them. If he really don't want to train her, then he shouldn't have to. That's just how he feels. But again, in the cartoon, it was just like, no women. no women. It makes you feel. Okay, go ahead.
Now it makes me think about in the cartoon. Was he really saying no women waterbenders, or was he protecting his granddaughter, knowing that was his granddaughter?
I thought he found out later that it was his granddaughter. He didn't know it first, and then he saw
They saw a necklace.
The necklace, and that's where the through line came in. He was like, "Oh,"
and that was a great reveal too.
Yeah.
But the fight, I think they did a pretty good job with the fight.
Yeah, because the effects carry it again.
Oh yeah,
like you said, the effects. So
yeah,
that was a good part of the fighting. So I can't take anything away from that.
No.
Let's see. We went Iroh. We didn't go Zuko. How you feel about Zuko?
I give him a B+.
I give him an A.
I give him a B+ only because, yeah, he was a little bit whiny in the cartoon, where it's like he was more goal oriented, like focused solely on Aang in the cartoon, but he was a little bit more whiny in the live action for me, just a little bit. There was a great story about how he got his scar and why he chose the 41st Division as his crew.
Yeah.
Adding to it. It made me respect him a lot more. Mm-hmm. His fights were good, but I felt like he was doing the same repetitive moves.
Yeah. I would say the creativity wasn't there for firebenders in general.
But Zuko, his arsenal was crazy in the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. The only move I was waiting for was the fire windmill. When he was kind of like breakdancing and had that fire ring going around him, I was waiting for that, and it never showed up. They just kept having him backwards flip, one leg kick into a fireball, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but you've done it like 5 episodes in a row. Give me something else.
Yeah. So
give me the fire daggers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So overall, what would you rate Book 1 of Avatar: The Last Airbender live action?
That's tough because it just it just felt rushed. It felt like they put so many things together. Oh, we forgot about Admiral Zhao, but
B.
D. But overall, I'll give it maybe a C+ going towards B-. Mm-hmm. It just was a lot for me as an avid Avatar fan. I literally went from book 1, episode 1 to the last episode maybe 5 times.
Yeah.
Straight.
Yeah.
And just knowing the details, the ins and outs of things, it was kind of hard to keep up because I'm like, this happened here, and this happened here, and this happened here. Like, why we have this, and why we have that? So it would have been nicer if they used Kyoshi in book 2 or book 3 even. When
to follow the cycle.
Yeah, I would have been okay with. I was cool with Kirk coming up. I was cool with that. I thought that was a pretty nice touch. I would have felt better if Roku showed himself more, especially helping out Aang at the Fire Sage Temple.
Yeah.
That's why I give it. I give it a B-. I'll give it a B-. I can't take away from the choreo, but the pacing of the writing kind of
Yeah. So for me, I kind of went into it already having this sense where I'm like, I gotta remove myself from the cartoon. I gotta be accepting of changes that they make, but I have to judge this as, if I'm watching this, did I enjoy it? And that's what I did. So that's why I would give it a B. It was good, but it wasn't anything great. It wasn't anything that kept my attention. Like the first 3 episodes, I was like, oh, I'm good. But then after that, it kind of just dragged along. And it was just kind of like, I'm not trying to make too many comparisons to the cartoon, but y'all are forcing me to, because of the way y'all are bringing things along. So, like when I say certain things that didn't make sense to me, that's why. It's not because I'm comparing everything to the cartoon. I give leeway if you can make a character compelling, just like if you ever watched the One Piece live action,
I heard that was great. I haven't watched it yet.
It's good. I would give that one a B plus. There's still things that I didn't like about it, but again, I'm not trying to compare that to the anime. But the way they changed Luffy, I was accepting of it. I was like, okay, they changed Luffy on a level because they had to make it more realistic. Cool. But they didn't take too much away that he wasn't entertaining. He was entertaining throughout. For me, Aang was not entertaining throughout. He was the reluctant little kid, and it didn't show a glimpse of who he could be potentially. It was just like, I need everybody else to do stuff for me. And I'm like, I get it.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, and I'm like, I get it. That's how they want to portray the story, as Aang is this helpless kid, but you gotta give him flashes of potential for me to be invested in his character.
There it is.
If I'm going on a hero's journey,
I think you hit it right on the head. There was no sign of potential. Not necessarily saying he's going to be the best ever, but even small glimpses of water, small glimpses of being a diplomat, small glimpses of just of being that aggressive Avatar at times. Because when Zuko went into the bar, they were like, oh, have y'all seen the Avatar? They were like, yeah, I seen him at the cavern. No, I saw him at the canyon. Oh, I saw him when he talked to the fortune teller. Oh, I saw him with it. It's like y'all sped through that joint. Yeah. And those were a lot of great stories that people were looking forward to, especially the canyon, with the two tribes. Yeah. Especially the fortune telling one where they found out that Aang was that dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, there was just a lot of things where we could have seen his potential. They took away all the potential episodes that he had. Yeah. And then when you took them away, you just saw an avatar that, an avatar that is, yes, he's learning his way, but that's all he's doing. Like, there's no, I'm a step up. It's just like, well, my past lives told me this, and this is what I want to do. Like, he was easily influenced instead of creating his own path. Yeah. That was my whole thing.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, it's a huge step up from what we got in the movies, and that M. Night Shyamalan live action movie almost ruined Avatar for me, literally.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was horrible. I thought Dragon Ball Evolution was horrible.
That was buns.
That was buns, but this Avatar The Last Airbender, well, it was called The Last Airbender because they didn't want to, of course, interject with the other Avatar, the blue Avatar stuff, the blue people. But yeah, The Last Airbender, The Last Airbender movie was so bad.
It was, and the thing that I couldn't stand the most about that movie, there were conditions. There had to be conditions for their bending. Mm-hmm. Like, firebenders could not just shoot their hand out and project fire. There had to be like a lantern 5 feet away. The
earthbenders pissed me off the most because they would do that stupid "you got served" dance, and it'd be like a little pebble that they're throwing. I'm like, you did all of that to throw a rock at some. I could just grab a rock and throw it faster than that little rock. It was going so slow too. It was like.
The mug started crumping.
And they'd be like, I was just like,
the mug started crumping for a pebble.
Dog, it pissed me off so much because I'm like,
I hate to see what they got to do for a boulder. Like,
I'm like, y'all act like y'all don't know how to do effects in movies. I've seen effects work in movies. I've watched Blade. I've watched, different types of movies. So. Mm-hmm. Like, what was that? It was like
they were saving money. That's what it was. They were saving money.
Somebody made a perfect comparison when they did the theater, those theater plays where they were pretending to be like Aang and all them. Yeah. That's what the movie was. That movie was exactly like that.
Exactly how it was.
And that was their effects on the theater. It was the same thing that I saw in that movie theater, and I was just like. You just ruined Avatar. You lucky Korra came and saved it for me.
Korra saved it. Korra saved it. I think a lot of people were a little bit more upset of the ending. To me, Korra, I'm like, that's kind of weird. You dated your whole crew.
Don't say it like that. I mean, it's true, but don't say it like
It's
that.
true.
Don't say it.
You dated your whole squad, like literally everyone.
Yeah, she did.
And I'm like, y'all don't think it's weird? Like,
I say, she didn't really date Bolin. She kind of pity dated him that one time. She was with Mako. Mako was with Asami, and then Asami was with Korra because Mako was a terrible boyfriend that he turned Korra gay. And he turned Asami gay. So that's a hit on Mako.
But he was the coldest fire. Okay, he was
cold.
New gen firebender though.
He was cold. I will give him that. There were some things I didn't like about Mako, but he was cold. The lightning bending that he mastered. He was doing stuff that even Azula couldn't do. So, and then oh my god, I get all these discussions. They'd be like Team Avatar versus Team Korra. Who would win? I'm like, y'all don't give these folks credit. Bolin over here, lava bending. Who gonna stop lava bending?
Who gonna stop lava? Even Toph can't do that.
And they're like, well, what if Toph is in her prime? You can't compare a prime Toph to barely scratching their prime Team Korra. We don't know what they look like during their prime. Mm-hmm. If this is them during the stages of where they were during the original run of Avatar, could you imagine them in their prime?
Yeah,
could you imagine? You already got Tenzin on their team. So Tenzin is a full-blown airbender who is a master.
That man ran ones with the Red Lotus.
He was whooping Zahir. People forget about
dragging
that.
him.
People forget about that.
Dragging him.
They had to jump him. They had to jump him.
That was straight up Jiraiya vibes. Like straight up Jiraiya vibes. Now, she almost tried to get away with it too, but I'm bringing it back. Freaking Azula looked like she was 9 years old.
We forgot all about Azula because I wanted to wipe her out my mind because I was just like, well, let's go back to
I'm on this one.
We left Azula. We left Ty Lee. We left Mai, and we left Yue.
Bump them jokers because they didn't have no.
All Fs.
Yeah, put the Avatar state put the tattoo on my forehead real quick. I gotta tell these folks something.
I wish I could do that.
Move out the way, Maddogg. Move out the way. Look, here's my problem with Azula. Azula was the biggest crybaby ever in the show. She always wanted Daddy's approval. Daddy was just like, no. So she went ahead and dealt with Commander Jha herself. Like, I'm gonna show you, Dad, that I'm the real leader and not Zuko. She was going up against Zuko for Daddy's attention when Zuko is in a whole different country. No, bump that. She was supposed to be her own person. She was supposed to be a little bit psychotic. She was supposed to be calculated, but she was whiny. She was like, I'm just going to use my whole resources. Commander Zhao, you can get the top archers. You can get these people. I got the pirates on the way that we never seen in the whole freaking show. Then we went ahead and doggone, she was like, I know where they're going to be. I got these documents here to let you know how to kill the moon. I was just like, where are you getting all this information from? But yet all of a sudden, Daddy's not the I'm going to go out on my own. I'm going to show my daddy. What happened to your mama? What about your mama? What about your mama? Your mom was the one that you were trying to chase after, not your daddy. I'm like, nah. Azula, she made my head hurt. And then her shoulders were like this in the freaking, like, she had the whole shoulder pads and they looked like this. Like, relax your shoulders. Yeah. Put your shoulders down.
That do be facts.
Put the shoulders down. Relax. It's okay. And then June, her wig, all they did was took Princess Yue's wig, dyed it black, and put on her funky head.
I liked her. I liked her actress. She looked like her, but are you talking about June or you talking about May?
I'm talking about June.
Or Mai. You talking about June, the bounty hunter?
Or, sorry.
Mai.
Mai.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Mai.
Gotcha.
They're like, okay, Princess Yue, you done. We're just gonna.
Y'all sharing this one.
Right, just go ahead. We brushed it down for you.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god. Like Azula made my head hurt. She was like, oh yeah, you're trying to kill the Fire Lord. Here you go. Haha, Daddy, I told you I was gonna bring him. Like, what's up with the daddy issue?
Yeah.
Your daddy in the cartoon, Ozai recognized Azula as a
Exactly.
prodigy.
Exactly. He said it flat out. He said, Zuko, you're terrible.
Right.
You were lucky to be born. She was born to be lucky, or whatever he said.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Like, she was born for greatness. You were not born for greatness. And that goes into the comics and everything that goes on with that. But still, it's like, why
her drive for perfection made her insane. Like that's what I enjoy. She was so calculated that everybody was scared of her.
Exactly. I wouldn't be scared of this character.
Ain't nobody scared of her. Ain't nobody scared of her. And can run ones with her right now with just air.
They've taken so much from a lot of the ladies, honestly, and it sucks because it's like, they're scared to let them be emotional. And it's like, well, this is what made these characters great. Like, people love Azula. Azula has a huge fan base, and she was the worst.
Yeah.
But they think she's the best villain of the series. Like, people don't really look at Ozai like that. They're like, okay, Ozai was there, but hell, Azula was sitting there chasing everybody. She was throwing lightning at people. She killed Aang for like half a second.
Yeah.
Like, she was doing it. She was doing the work. Build her up.
She literally like killed Aang and looked at Zuko like it took you 3 years to do this.
Right.
Like, I was just like, oh, she tough.
And she had barbs. Like, she was like well spoken. She wasn't nervous. She was like, yeah, hey Zuzu, I can't believe you couldn't capture the Avatar, and I did it. It made her like, it made you want to hate her. Mm-hmm. This one just, I'm not hating on her, but she just doesn't fit. She's not Azula.
The way they wrote her in was not good. Now, the actress that played Azula, she's not bad. She's not bad. I just think that they didn't do her justice.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't give her the right amount of actions and script to go ahead and really show the true potential of Azula.
Yeah, and they brought her in too fast. They could have waited.
Yep, they did.
Like, give her her own space. Like, after you let Zuko kind of calm down, when Zuko was blending in with the Earthbenders, that's when you say, okay, Azula, now it's your time to shine. You're the main focus villain of this portion.
I would have been fine seeing her in book 2. I would have been perfectly fine.
Or at the end of book 1, like, just very, very small glimpse, like, I'm going after the Avatar now, and that's it. That's all you had to do, and it would have built hype. Everybody was like, oh, I'm ready to see Azula. You didn't even have to show her face. We already know what she looks like because of the actress is already casted. But
show her boots. Show here a little lightning crack, something, and it would be good.
Even just the blue flames, I would be like, oh, that's Azula. And now I'm excited. Now I'm excited for season 2. But now I'm just like, I didn't even, like you said, you didn't even think they were gonna have a book 2 and 3, and I had to show you that screenshot, and you were just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, dang, like, cause I'm like, literally, my first mind was, what else are they gonna mess up? Like, I hate thinking like that. Like, I wish I had that same mindset as you, where it's just like, come in, it's a whole new experience, just see what they're gonna do, and I'm gonna do my best with the next couple of books, but this one here, I'm talking about, I'm irked. Like, I'm looking at Ashley and I'm just like, babe, they forgot to do this, they forgot to do that, and she's just over there like, like, she's not, like, she's invested in it, sure, but I'm sitting here like, man, they did this wrong, they did that wrong, they did this and they did that. She's just like, okay, turn the volume up, like, it's a regular day. And
then now I'm like seeing things through somebody who doesn't have that same passion for the Avatar series. Like, when Caroline watched it, she finished it before me. I started before her because I'm slow at watching things, but she stayed up to like 3 a.m. just like, I'm hearing stuff in the background. I'm like, I'm not even at that part yet. Like, stop spoiling me. I'm like half asleep. Yeah. So I'm like trying to, and I asked her, I was like, hey babe, what did you think about Avatar? And she's like, well, I like it because, it gets to the point faster. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Because you don't have that frame of reference. She did watch the cartoons like with me once, but it took so long for them to get anywhere because we like the interactions between the characters.
Yeah,
she liked just the plot, and I'm like, okay, maybe that was somebody who watched the show and was like, I want to get to where I need to go. I need to get to
possibility
from set piece to set piece, and we're gonna try to sprinkle in character interaction. It's different when you crave that character. We like the characters. We like the settings, the world building. That's what we liked about it. But that's not what everybody wants. The majority of people, I feel like, wants the set building and the world building. But I can understand writers just being like, let's get to the point.
Well, see, they kind of left one thing, two more things, and I promise you I'm done. So they kind of left one thing unfinished when it came to the spirit of the forest, where it's just like, oh yeah, the acorn, and they put it in the ground and covered it up. Like, I'm gonna make sure that this is right, but there was really no true resolution when it came to that, and him being, the spirit being okay and getting back to his normal state. It was just like a rage monster, and that was that. Like, you didn't see nothing else after that. And I promise you, I was about to stand up and throw my TV when I thought Momo died, because first off, Momo is there for comic relief. Why is he there to die as a sacrifice for Princess Yue? I'm like, he's comic relief. And first off, he should have been with Aang anyway.
Exactly.
Because he's always fighting next to Aang. Even if, and then again, another reason why I wanted the pirate fight, I wanted Momo versus the doggone parrot. I wanted that, but they didn't bring it. So I'm just like, I promise you, when Momo went limp, I was like, I'm about to find my phone. I said, I'm about to find my phone. I'm cutting this thing off, because I'm cutting it off right now. And then it was like, Yue is a high priestess. And then next thing you know, and then Momo's back. And I'm just like, I saw that coming.
Yeah.
I saw that coming. But those are my, when it came to the animation was great. But those are the only two gripes that I had when it came to animation. Appa was great. They did a great job drawing him and designing him and making everything flow. But yeah, don't sacrifice Momo. Right. He didn't die nothing, so don't sacrifice him.
And if y'all, we're going to get into predictions of book 2 and book 3. But I'm going to start that by saying, if y'all dare try to sacrifice Appa during that dang desert scene, like if you cut that buffalo's head off or something like that, we're going to have some problems.
I'm going straight to Netflix headquarters. Like, there's no question about it.
What are your predictions for book 2 and 3?
They're going to meet Toph. In book 2, they're going to meet Toph. Because everything's rushed, right? I'm trying to think of all the main things that happen in books 2 and 3.
They went to the Great Library.
Well, they already met the owl, so what's the point of going to the library?
That's true. I forgot all about that.
Azula's going to be, that they're going to try and take over Ba Sing Se. The team's going to go to Ba Sing Se. I feel like Uncle Iroh is going to go to jail and stay in prison. Zuko is going to have his conflict probably by like episode 3. His internal conflict. I feel like Combustion Man's going to show. Because again, they're rushing everything, right? I feel like book 3 is going to be nothing but the apocalypse. But the eclipse, excuse me.
I was like, what Avatar were you watching? The apocalypse.
My bad. The
Jesus.
Okay. Book 3, they're gonna meet Katara and Sokka's dad.
Yeah.
Of course, the battle between Aang and Ozai. For some odd reason, they're gonna keep the beach house scene.
You think so?
Keep the beach. Yeah, it's gonna be completely random. Because they're showing everything else in book 2. They're gonna need something. Okay. Appa's gonna be missing. In book 3, Aang finally learns water and earth and fire.
Just at the same time, he's like, "Oh, I finally understand."
At the same time. At the same time, all his teachers gonna come at him at one time. Toph, Katara, and they're probably gonna bring Jean in, or Zuko. They're gonna bring them all in and be like, "Do this and do that and do this and hit this form." I'm gonna be in book 3.
Yeah.
We're gonna get more Avatar connections in book 3. and I think they're gonna show him lose his connection and
Mm-hmm.
how he gets it back.
Yeah, those are good predictions. I'm kind of on the same page as you with book two. Hopefully, hopefully they have Combustion Man. I just, it's like in the back of my head, it's like I feel like they're just like, well, let's just take him out because we don't want Sokka to have his moment, or we don't want this to happen. And it was kind of graphic in the cartoon how he died. So
yeah,
it's like I just feel like they're gonna either not have him or they're gonna tweak his character where it doesn't feel like him anymore. It's just gonna be like some random dude just shooting, shooting things, and then they're gonna beat him in like 2 seconds or something like that.
Yeah. And Sokka's sword.
Sokka's sword. I want to see, Zuko on his downtime. I want to see him date the girl he dated for like, half an episode or whatever. I think there's like a little special called the Tales of Boxing Say.
Yeah.
That was great for his character. I want to see a lot from the Earth Kingdom. I want to see them really step up the Earth Kingdom because it was a lot of stuff that was lacking from just Earthbenders in general. And then Toph, of course. Toph, they had to come through. They had to come through. It's like, if you don't come through with Toph, I'm just going to say, y'all don't know how to write women characters.
Yep.
Besides Suki. Suki's great, of course. But that's a different story. But yeah, it just seems like they don't know how to write characters without stripping away what makes them great.
Yeah.
Like Katara. Like, oh, we don't want to make her feel too emotional because people always say women are emotional. Zuko's emotional.
Zuko's mad emotional.
Okay, like, people are emotional. Characters are emotional. That's what makes them human. You take Katara's emotions away, now she's just kind of... And you made her a strong character. Like, you kind of skip steps. I get that you want to push the idea of strong women, but if you strip away what makes them strong and then just give them godlike powers, they're not strong anymore. They're just...
Yeah, they try to push her off as a genius, but she really worked hard.
I mean, she was a genius, but she just didn't understand her power, And she slowly got to that point, and we're like, okay, cool, I understand. We saw a glimpse of it. We see her potential, and then she gets there, and then by book 2 and book 3, she's doing things just incredible. Like she's a badass in book 3, like putting fear in people's hearts. About to, like I will take this reign and shank you, my brother.
That part was so tough.
Like, and it's like I'm scared because I feel like they're gonna get to that part, and it's not gonna make sense anymore. It's not gonna hit the same. Yeah, she's not gonna be volatile. She's not gonna be like, she's not gonna need Aang to be like her good conscience and Zuko be her bad conscience anymore because she's gonna be, I'm a strong woman. I can make my own decisions.
I can make my own decisions.
Yeah, and it's like, that's not the way to correct that. You're overcorrecting something that you perceive as a problem. Just like how they do black characters. They try to overcorrect black characters, and it just makes them unauthentic. Like nobody can relate to those characters anymore.
Right. Because
Different tangent, different day. But
right.
That's how I feel about Katara right now. I love Katara as a character. Literally, she's on the screen right now, and that's not by. That's by design. I love Katara. She's one of the coldest characters in the series.
Yeah, she's tough.
But y'all stripped away Katara. You just made her girl with super cool powers.
Right, girl who can throw water.
Like, okay, cool.
Right.
But what are your overall thoughts of Legend of Korra? I know you said you liked it, and then you said you didn't like the ending. Or you had, not that you didn't like the ending, but you thought it was kind of weird.
They made Korra more relatable in a sense. Where it's just like she's great at everything. Yeah. She knew how to focus in. Like when going beyond Aang's age at like 16, 17 years old, she's mastered all the elements and it's okay. What's next? There's always that internal conflict of oneself. Who am I?
Yeah.
Excuse me. I feel like that was a constant battle in all the books for her. It's just like it was always like, "Who am I?"
Yeah.
Is what she was trying to figure out. Where
Her,
do I fit in with this
yeah.
new world? Because she was secluded for so
Mm-hmm.
many years. Um,
And she had so many like people trying to guide her. She couldn't
yeah,
find her own identity. She knew she was the Avatar, and that's all she knew. Like
yep.
she was like, "I'm Katara. I'm the Avatar. Not Katara. I'm sorry, Korra. I'm the Avatar. You got to deal with it. That's it. That's all
Yeah,
she
that was
knew.
funny.
Yeah, that's all she knew.
Yeah.
They protected her. They kept her sheltered. So when she got out into the world, which is the complete opposite of what Aang was, Aang knew the world, but and he didn't know his responsibility as the Avatar. But it was flopped for Korra. And I feel like people were like, "Well, I wanted Korra to be Aang Part 2." It's like you're missing the point of a cycle.
Yeah.
You're missing the point of these being different characters. And Korra gets so much flack online. Like people hate her guts. I'm like, why? So she gets beat up all the time. If Aang faced the type of people that she faced in book 1, Aang would be in trouble.
Oh yeah.
He would be in trouble.
Yeah.
He facing chi blockers. You know,
a whole army
of chi blockers, facing political issues from the jump. He didn't know what to do when it was small political issues. It was villages having issues. He was just like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm a kid." Now, putting Aang in that situation.
And then, I mean, how would you? I mean, how would Aang? How would Aang? What would Aang have done if he went up against Amon himself?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like you're talking about someone who has the power of an avatar, quote unquote, and taking people's bending away.
Mm-hmm.
And that was unheard of. The blood bending, like the subgroups of bending, sure.
Yeah.
Right. The blood bending, the metal bending, the what else was there? Combustion bending, like all that stuff, all those subgroups. Like that's been seen before, and that's the reason why it's so common. But the bending removal, that's different.
Only Aang has done it.
Only Aang has done it.
Yeah. And it's like I don't understand people just. It's like they don't like sequels, and they're like, "Well, I just wanted more Aang," and then they just reject Korra, and it's like, it's like I can understand if you have like if you're focusing on your criticism on Korra, like if you're like, okay, she was too powerful from the jump, I didn't like that. I'd be like, okay, I understand that. But if you watch it from book 1 to book 4, she loses that edge. By book 3, she didn't know who she was, poisoned, basically crippled. Not basically, she was crippled.
It was.
And going into a new era for book 4, where it's like, I don't know if I'm this confident person. She had to go back to Zahir, of all people, to get confident again.
Yeah.
And I love that, because it's like you gotta go to your enemy who poisoned you to fight another threat. They weren't doing that in Avatar, the Last Airbender.
Zahir probably is my favorite villain out of Korra and Avatar Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Because he was just that guy that he reminds me of, if they showed Prime Aang, he would have been like that.
Yeah. If they removed the kindness of Aang, the restrictions of Aang, and let Aang just kind of be, do what Airbender should do.
Be a freaking savage. Zahir showed what the Air Nomad should have done the day the Sosa comic game.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason. Oh, never mind. I was about to give my answer away, but Zahir cold, and then he was spiritually gifted. As much as he was an evil dude, he was very well rounded when it came to the spiritual side of things.
Yeah. And
that part was the scary part, and I kind of like. I really didn't like the spirit convergence portion,
Yeah.
where it's just like everything's in balance, and then all of a sudden she fixes it back, and everybody and their mama airbender.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does that correlate? Like, was there a thing where I mean, I don't know how you can even explain that. Where it's just like because of the convergence, now I'm blowing wind out of my hand, and I'm just like. I'm like, how did we get here?
They tried to explain it with like one where that convergence was what created like the balance between things. So the fact that there were no airbenders, it was an imbalance. It was impure.
Sure.
So they had to correct it, like the spirits or whatever the hierarchy of because you got lion turtles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that had to overcorrect and balance out, the other nations because it was imbalanced. It was majority fire, water, earth, and then one family of airbenders. So it had to.
I get that, but it's like, but how? Like literally, how? Like did Rava hit everybody, or did you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like how? Like were they dormant benders, and then the spirit realm just opened that up for them?
I think so. I think it had like some type of dormancy, and it had to unlock it because there were so many non-benders, and that wasn't really explained too often. It was just like, all right, there's just people who didn't get bending, even though they were related. Like Aang and Katara had kids, and two of their kids got bending, and then one of them. Boomy.
Yeah, then Boomy, yeah.
And then he got bending, and it was like, okay, that makes sense.
Right.
He was a dormant airbender. So I think that's where it came from. Like, there were people who had maybe like a great grandfather who was an airbender, but it was just dormant in him, and then it just tapped into that spirit and unlocked it for him because it had to. It was forced to.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but we already went over Team Aang versus Team Korra. We're kind of on the same page as that. Where I still think Team Aang would win, but it's not as like far off as people say.
They work better as a team.
Yeah.
Like I think it's their only advantage.
Yeah, like Asami is not really adding too much against like Sokka or something like that. If you put non-bender versus non-bender. Toph, I feel like people overrate Toph, and I love Toph too. Yeah, I do. I feel like people because they're like, "Oh, Toph, she can beat Ozai." And it's like, no, she couldn't have.
No, she can't.
Like she had major battles, but she wasn't fighting like on Aang's level. Like she could fight against Aang, like she gonna hold her own, but at the end of the day, she's gonna be limited by just being an Earthbender. And Bolin. I don't think he would win against Toph, but he ain't getting.
He's putting up a fight.
He ain't getting mollywopped. He gonna do some lava bending, and she gonna do some metal bending, and it's gonna be a good fight. But Toph has more experience, and Toph, has an edge because she's blind and can do things that Bolin can't do. Zuko versus Mako is like.
Are you really? I mean, will it be him or would it be Katara? Because are we talking about the OG Team Avatar, or are we talking about Team Avatar plus Zuko?
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, then who would? Because Tenzin is a part of Team Korra,
right?
So who would Tenzin fight?
He'd have to fight his daddy. Shoot,
that's not fair.
No, it's not. But
unless we're talking about Prime Aang, and then it's like, okay, that's fair. But like Kid Aang, I don't know. That's another thing. I'm like, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about?
But you have to remember, Aang was considered a master too. Otherwise, he wouldn't be having his tattoos.
That's true. That's
his granddaughter was a master at the same age as well.
A year before Aang. Just had to throw that.
A year before. Excuse me. A year before. So I would still put him up against Tenzin and see how that goes because he was actually pretty creative.
Yeah, he's creative.
When it came to his bending ability, especially just talking about air alone.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But then you got Korra. It's like Korra has to go against either Katara or Who?
Oh shoot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Then you'd have to add Zuko if you're adding 10.
that's why I was adding Zuko, because it's like it balances out the teams a little bit.
I would much rather watch Zuko go against Korra than Katara.
Korra's gonna wash Zuko. Korra's gonna wash him.
She's gonna wash whomever it is.
She gotta fight Aang.
Yeah.
That's the only, and it's still
That's
not
the only
fair.
logical sense.
It's still not fair because she's a better. She was better in the Avatar state, and she mastered the elements faster.
Oh yeah, she hit the Avatar state like it was nothing.
So it's like it's not fair. And then that's when people say, "Oh well, Prime Aang." It's like we don't have a Prime Korra, so it's hard to.
We don't have a Prime Korra.
Could
but
you imagine?
Yeah.
So that's my only thing. Nobody messing with Kyoshi though. Nobody messing with Kyoshi.
Oh no, not that Lisa Leslie looking mug.
Yeah, I've been on TikTok. I follow an account called Absolute Kyoshiism, which does like AI generated voices for each character. Like they'll have each character's face up there, and they'll have conversations, and they're kind of pulling material out from the books, but they kind of give them their own personality too. So it's been going into Yang Chen a lot, and Yang Chen is as cold as Kyoshi. Like,
I believe it.
Yeah, she was like, she has the shout powers where she can shout and use airbending and like disrupt your ears, break your eardrums and stuff like that. She can take she can do what Zahir did, like take your breath away. Basically, she's cold. Like, I need to read her. She has a graphic novel out. I'm a personally go and read it because I'm like, this chick is something else. Yeah, she had like a multi-personality disorder or something crazy. But yeah, any final thoughts on The Last Airbender? Anything related to Avatar? We got about 15 minutes.
I had something, but then I lost it. I mean, I think this was this franchise is a very well thought out franchise. Mm-hmm. It definitely was very original and doesn't do too much. Well, based off the main portion of the franchise, they do a great job in terms of finding a villain. They do a great job in terms of finding conflict. The artistry and the martial arts that go along with the bending is pretty smooth. Yeah. It's just refreshing. You know what I mean? It's just refreshing to see something like that. 2025, there's going to be a new Avatar. They're looking into an Earthbender. Yep. That's the cycle. A lot of people were trying to figure out what the plot would be or what they think the plot would be. I saw one on IG that said, I think that there will be an Avatar and an anti-Avatar, but they're twins. Ooh. So the White Lotus would have the Avatar, and the resurgence of the Red Lotus will have the anti-Avatar. They both can control all four elements, but the anti-Avatar can't go into the Avatar state. So I think there will be a struggle for that, and and if they do go that route, they will go in the Avatar state late, because remember, in Korra, she lost connection with all the old Avatars. Right. So she would be the next one up. So I don't know. I think that'd be pretty dope.
I like it. I've been thinking about it myself and kind of writing things down where I'm like, okay, so we know Korra is in like the 20s, the Roaring 20s era. So I'm like, if Korra lives at least 70 years, what if it's like more modernized, like the 90s and stuff like that? Like, just to think about like the technology and how they can be like, we want to be traditionalists. Like, so I wrote down, I was like, man, it'd be cool to have like a group that's called like the traditionalists, and they're like, we want things to go back to the old ways, and they're pretty much like domestic terrorists. Like, while everybody else is living comfortably with the spirits and technology kind of intertwined, they want to go back to being like the old four nations divided, like I guess they could be like the Separatists, but in a way where they're more violent. They're not as militant. They're just kind of like hidden in the shadows, and they're just blowing stuff up. And it kind of forces that new Avatar, who could be, just kind of casual, somebody who knows he's the Avatar, or she. I think it'd be a guy though, but knows they're the Avatar, and just doesn't see the same level of importance. Like, it's just kind of a badge of honor because they're so comfortable. Like, everything's been peaceful for so long. Kind of like the Boruto series, where it's like, everybody's cool and chilling because it ain't been wars in like 70 years, and now everything's starting back up where people want to go back to the old way. And other people are really getting on board because they're like, yeah, this new way of living is depressing for the rest of us. Kind of stealing some elements from Korra, but just going deeper into that. And then that gives you
that'd be a pretty dope idea.
And then that gives you the chance to be more character driven with like a main cast instead of Korra. How Korra was like spread out between like so many different threads. You just have one group again traveling the world, and I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
I wonder what the animal would be though. Like, would you find a dragon again? Would you find a badger mole? Like,
I want to see a badger mole.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
I'll see a badger mole.
Oh man, that was a great episode. We gotta hurry on up because I can hear crying in the back.
Oh yeah, we'll wrap it up. Appreciate y'all joining the new show, the HOV Lane.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
First one.
Yeah, we'll be back to be continued with something else.
Hopefully, your mother's favorite and your boy Priesthood can come through and join us. Not necessarily on anime, but certain cartoons.
Yeah, movies, cartoons.
Because we're the real anime heads of the group.
Yeah. So
even though Avatar's not necessarily an anime, we dub it as such.
Yeah, I think majority of the world kind of fit it into that mold. We'll be talking about Marvel movies, maybe Deadpool when that comes out. Definitely want to cover Deadpool.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
So, but yeah, to be continued.